Good morning, everybody. Jim Ketchum, PRMG here. Hey, I just want to take a quick opportunity to go over the new program, the Dream for All through CalHFA, just because it's an exciting new program and we're finally starting to get some detail that's worthy of sharing. So I wanted to start by first saying that everything we talk about today is subject to change simply because CalHFA has explicitly told us that everything that they do is subject to change, and until Monday we won't have any idea of whether anything is really in concrete or not. So that being said, we've attended some training and we certainly have a basic idea of what we're going to be dealing with, so I thought I'd share that today. So a quick overview of CalHFA, for those that don't know, is a California bond program that's designed to provide housing opportunity for people that otherwise would have a difficulty coming up with a down payment. So it's typically offered as a both conventional and FHA product, where you get a 97% in the case of conventional or a 96.5 FHA loan, and then they provide a My Home Second, which is a second trust deed that allows you to get to 100% LTV. Then from there, they offer a ZIP program, which is an additional 2 or 3% third position loan with zero interest that allows you to help pay for closing costs and the like. That's not a particularly popular program simply because the increase in the first trust deed rate is significant, and it's such that it just really tends to blow out any real qualifying power. So as a rule, we would always target a seller credit in lieu of a ZIP program. As an overview, CalHFA does have some requirements that we need to touch on. One is California properties only, obviously. There are income restrictions that do apply, and I'll cover those later. There are no sales price limits. However, given the income limits, it will obviously create a cap in your buying power, so extremely large loan amounts won't be allowed. You must be a first-time home buyer. Home buyer education is required, and it's just a general home buyer education offered by most MI companies. However, the California Dream for All program, which is the new one we're talking about today, does require a special home buyer education program. Owner-occupied purchase only, single-family condo, PUDs, and manufactureds are allowed, and there is a 5-acre maximum. I'm going to push up against that. Given our territory up here in Northern California, we tend to see some larger acreage, so I'm going to see if I can get any movement on that. To touch on the first-time home buyer component, it was specified by CalHFA in one of the training seminars recently that the definition of a first-time home buyer as far as CalHFA is concerned is have you had ownership in a primary residence in the past 3 years? And that's very distinctly different than have you had ownership in real estate in the last 3 years. So you could theoretically own a rental property and still get a CalHFA as an owner-occupied if you can document that you have not had ownership in a primary residence. So rental receipts or utility bills showing going to a home that is not yours. So living with mom and dad, that sort of thing. So the Dream for All program in particular is an 80% first, conventional only, by the way, with a 20% second that will go behind it. It will allow you to go 85% on the first with a 20% second to take you to 105 CLTV. So you could use that in a circumstance where you found a property where the seller's just not going to play ball on a seller credit. So that product would require MI, of course. So, take that with a grain of salt and keep that in your quiver in case you need it for one of your clients. It is a situation where there's no payments and no interest on that second over the life of the loan. However, when you do sell or refi, you are going to be required to share 20% of the appreciation that you get when you sell or refi that property. CalHFA has said that they will allow one subordination over the life of this loan. So you will be able to refi once. You just want to be careful that you're strategic in that, because if you take advantage of that free subordination and then down the line you want to do it again, you're not going to be able to. You'll have to pay off the second. So there is a 70% minimum CLTV on this. So people with a lot of equity just trying to get the free 20% are going to have a harder time. Basically, it's going to be impossible. There is a special home buyer education that we talked about. I'll get you detail on that when it becomes available. And then no other DPA product is allowed with this. So you can't do a ZIP third in the case of this particular program. Let's see what else. Income. So the income limits are the same for the Dream for All program as the regular CalHFA, which is at least $160,000 a year. It's all based on county. I think it maxes out about 300. So you can see the income limits here. And then also, if you do hit an 80% of AMI income threshold, which is pretty rare, because home prices are so high, you actually will only have to share 15% equity instead of 20%. So there's a little savings there. But I can't imagine we're going to see many of those. So anyway, pretty excited about the program. I think it's going to be great. Obviously, we'll get you more information when the guides come out. Right now, it's just we've got this high altitude, 30,000 feet view of the program. We don't have any idea of what rates are going to be, although the guess on the street is that it's going to be higher than the regular CalHFA program. Hopefully, it's not so high as to shut the door on any type of viability with the program. Knowing how these agencies work, sometimes they don't think through that detail that well. So anyway, that's just a quick overview. Any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. Thanks.